Hey everyone, I'm in Washington, D.C., and behind me you can see the Capitol building, where in 2 days, Trump is going to be sworn in as our 47th president of the United States. And I came here for the inauguration. Unfortunately, the inauguration ceremony is not going to be held outside anymore, but I thought this would be a cool moment to mark a milestone for me personally, because this has been a really crazy year. And I realize that some of you watch my videos and I don't talk about who I am much. I just more talk about my views in the world. And this is a really special moment for me because, to give you some background, so my name is Kaizen, but I was born with the name Derek, which is important because Kaizen means growth, basically. It means continuous improvement or change for good in Japanese. But I was born with the birth name Derek in Bronx, New York. And growing up, I wasn't a very political person. I had always been, I guess, Democrat by default because I'm black and I grew up in New York and I went to Harvard, which is a very liberal place. And then I moved out to California, worked at a place called Riot Games, which is a tech company, also very liberal. My whole life had never been political. I never really saw the point. I always thought that it was just a bunch of useless fighting and people talking, and why get myself involved in any of that? And then in 2020, I quit my job, and I had been there for 8 years, and I just was looking for a change and wanted to follow my purpose because I felt like I was staying there out of fear as opposed to going on an adventure to find myself. And along that journey, I had a spiritual awakening after, this is so cliche now, but my first ayahuasca experience. And shortly after that, I changed my name, started my life coaching business, and was focused mostly on the inner world of people. And I do remember in 2016 when Trump got elected, I was really shocked. Like, I didn't understand it at all. And that was like the first little wake-up call, but I still didn't really understand why people voted for him then. Then 2020 came around, COVID, lockdowns, life changed for everyone, myself included. And my reaction was to separate myself from the outside world and just focus more on myself, and then eventually as a life coach help people focus on their inner world. But then 2024 comes around. Now, to set the stage even going into 2024, in October of 2023, I went to Egypt, and I was there around October 10th, so 3 days after October 7th, the Hamas attack. And I'd gone to Egypt expecting to have some sort of spiritual pilgrimage or something, thinking I was going to find out about my past lives or whatever spiritual people do. And instead, what I got was a real wake-up call as to what was going on in the world. And when I got that wake-up call, I realized, oh, wow, humanity is in crisis, and this whole civilization thing that we take for granted, but we really should hold dear, it doesn't just sustain itself. And I realized that I wanted to have a greater impact in the world, and I didn't really know how at the time. So at the end of 2023, I had an experience with a plant medicine called iboga, which changed my life once again and really helped me get grounded, because my experiences with ayahuasca and all these different healing modalities were great and helped me feel really happy, but I also felt kind of spiritually confused and lost a bit. And iboga really snapped me back into reality. And from that point, just sort of a natural interest emerged in politics, because around that same time, the political race started to heat up, and I started paying attention to things like the Trump felony prosecution and Biden being senile on the debate stage and all these different things. And I started to just feel that I'd been getting lied to, and that the American people had been getting lied to as well. And my first response to that was just to get really upset. I was really irritated, and because I'd done so much work on myself to clear myself out, it was much easier to see the outside world, right? Because once you can see yourself clearly, you can see the world clearly. So that started a journey that I had no intentions of starting, into commenting on politics and commenting on mainstream media manipulation. And from there, my audience started to build really rapidly in a way that I was not looking for and didn't expect. And it was ironic because as a life coach, I'd been putting out content on self-help and personal development for years, and not really getting traction. I mean, it helped me get clients, but I didn't build some huge following or anything, just a few thousand people. But it seemed like I really struck a chord and hit a nerve when I started talking about politics with people, and I just felt really inspired to. But at first, I was definitely not Team Trump. I knew that I didn't like what the Democrat Party was doing, but I still felt very wary of Trump and what I thought that he represented at the time. And then, I think it was July 13th, 2024, when he nearly got assassinated, something woke up. Like, I remember being in my kitchen, looking at the video of him standing up and saying, "Fight, fight, fight." And my whole chest lit up. It was like crazy. I'd never experienced anything like it. And that was the day that I realized that my mind and my heart disagreed. And although in my mind I was very wary of Trump, my heart knew that he was a solution to a lot of the problems that had been causing me to speak up in the first place. And I decided to follow that. And I realized that, you know, even if I lost friends or my family disapproved, I needed to speak out, because this wasn't about Republicans versus Democrats or left versus right or any of that. It really was about the truth versus lies and the people versus the government. A government that should be serving the people, but instead we're getting the inverse. So yeah, it's been a wild adventure. I mean, even right now, last night I got here from LA, where we currently have the LA fires. I'm kind of homeless right now. Looks like my house is still standing and they start to repopulate, but at the time I was like, you know what, if my home's not even accessible, I might as well go to the inauguration and commemorate this journey for myself. So I'm here, and I'm really grateful to everyone who has followed me here, because this is actually my first time, I think, near a lot of these storied institutions like the White House or the Capitol building. And yeah, my life has changed so dramatically. My sense of purpose has changed so dramatically. My sense of inspiration has changed so dramatically. And it just came from following my heart. And yeah, really cool things have happened in the last few months for me personally. After Trump got elected, I was really excited about that, but I kind of had like a post-election hangover, and I was like, all right, do I even have a purpose anymore? Like, what's even the, where do I go from here? And it was like a day or two later that Elon Musk started reposting my messages and sharing me with the world, and that's how a lot of you guys found me. And it's been a really wild ride, and I don't know where it goes from here, but I wanted to share more about who I am, because yeah, it just felt important at this little checkpoint in my own life and my own evolution. So thanks for joining. I'm gonna share more videos from this weekend. Might even be able to meet some of you. I've actually met some people who've consumed my videos just walking around, which is super cool. Until next time, it's gonna be a good 4 years, because we're gonna make it good. All right, boom. Yeah.